Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome into the Bulls Report. My name is Patrick Siepman, and coming up on today's show, I want to talk about 3 free agents that the Bulls need to make decisions on this summer, that being DeMar DeRozan, Patrick Williams, Andre Drummond, and I'll give you guys my thoughts on how I would handle each of those 3. Would I bring them back? Would I let them walk? I'll give you guys those answers here in a second. But first off, want to make sure you guys are all subscribed here to the channel. We picked up almost 100 subscribers this week, and that is awesome. Thank you guys so much to those who have already clicked that subscribe button. But hey, there is no better time to be subscribed here to the channel, because if we get any more rumors or news around what the Bulls plan on doing this summer, obviously once they do make a move, we'll have a video for you guys as soon as possible. So if you guys haven't already, hit that sub button and lock us in. Now, let's talk about DeMar DeRozan here first, because obviously this is the biggest name. This will tell us a lot on what the Bulls are trying to do here in free agency. And, you know, my initial gut reaction to DeMar DeRozan is let him go, let him walk. And, you know, the biggest reason for that is I think the Bulls are stuck in NBA purgatory. You know, we've talked about this countless times where the Bulls, you know, they are not in a spot where they're good enough to compete for championships, but they're also not bad enough to land one of these top prospects in the NBA draft. Right now, obviously the lottery will decide where the Bulls pick, but they have the 11th pick in this year's draft class. You, by any means, are probably not getting a true starter level, you know, caliber player at 11th in the draft. You hope to get that, but, you know, a lot of these mid-round selections in the NBA, they're developmental picks, and a lot of them end up not working out. I mean, we have seen so many darts thrown at that board of these mid-round selections where these guys play 1 or 2, you know, years, and then they're out of the NBA. So kind of that spot the Bulls have put themselves in is there's, you know, no prospect they could really say, oh, that's going to change our franchise in this year's class, and especially with them, you know, having the 11th pick. So, you know, that's why I kind of get to this where I would let DeMar DeRozan walk. And, you know, if the Bulls would offer him that $2 for $80 million deal that was reported by Casey Johnson of $40 million per year, I think that would be a disaster. And the reason I'm saying this is not that I think, you know, DeMar was terrible for the Bulls. He was flat out amazing. Like, I mean, just as a leader in that locker room for those young guys, like, I credit him a lot to the development of guys like Kobe White and Ayo Dosunmu. I think having that veteran guard presence, you know, every single day in your ear will just help you kind of stay on track and developing your game. So, you know, it's nothing that DeMar didn't do for the Bulls. It's just kind of projecting into the future of what I would do with this franchise. And I just think if you would bring back DeMar DeRozan, it would just yet again be doubling down on mediocrity, and instead of, you know, trying to be great. Because I think the Bulls can make a bunch of moves this offseason where they could be a good basketball team. Like, you could bring back DeMar DeRozan, get better on the margins in other ways, like trade Levine, maybe bring in another piece, and the Bulls could potentially be the 6th seed or the 5th seed in the Eastern Conference next season. But I think that's their max potential in running it back of some sort. So, you know, if I was running the Bulls, frankly, I would let DeMar DeRozan walk. I would trade Zach LaVine. I would try to trade Nikola Vucevic and just try to restart in any way possible, because I think the Bulls they're just in that tough spot in the NBA where it's like, yeah, we could, you know, go all in a little bit and maybe make a first round or second round playoff run, and signing or re-signing DeMar DeRozan would be a great way to do so. But that's kind of limiting your chances of being great and competing truly for NBA championships, and that should be the goal. Like, I just feel like the Bulls front office just too many times are like, oh, we see the United Center sell out for the play-in game this year versus the Atlanta Falcons. Like, we'll kind of hang on to that as their success of the season. But, man, could you imagine the UC Eastern Conference Finals with the Knicks or the Celtics in the building? Like, I mean, the city would absolutely be jumping. So, yes, it stinks. Yes, it would be hard to, you know, let DeMar DeRozan walk for all the great things he's done, but I think this is a push-come-to-shove moment for the Bulls where it's like you almost have to take 2 steps back to take 1 step forward. So in terms of re-signing DeMar DeRozan, I would say no. I would let him walk. But, hey, you guys let me know what you guys would do down below in the comments. Give me a Y for yes if you would re-sign DeMar, or give me an N for no. Now, Patrick Williams, he's going to be up next year. So he is a restricted free agent starting July 1st, and the Bulls can match any offers he receives after they perform the formality of presenting him his qualifying offer of $12.9 million. So they'll send that offer of $12.9 per year, and then he'll obviously, Patrick Williams will make a decision on that. But I am in the camp that the Bulls should try to keep Patrick Williams. And I think if we're seeing where the NBA is going right now, and this is me watching the Minnesota Timberwolves, you're watching Nickeil Alexander on the outsides, these Jaden McDaniels, these long wings that are just dominating, the league right now because of their defense. And I think Patrick Williams has that potential. And if in terms of I want everybody to imagine this. Let's take Kobe White and Ayo Dosunmu, and whatever you think their max potential is, put that in your head. Now I want you to take Patrick Williams and whatever you think he could max be in the NBA as a 3-and-D guy. I think those three would complement each other so well. You got Kobe White, the offensive-minded, 3-level scoring guard. Ayo Dosunmu, the two-way point-of-attack defender who can also create for himself off the dribble and is elite in transition. Then Patrick Williams, already an elite catch-and-shoot three-point shooter, already an elite defender. Those three, that type of backcourt at the 1, 2, and 3 spot, that's what's winning in the NBA nowadays. And I think the Bulls have a chance to do that. I said on the show that, honestly, the only untouchables I have for this team are Ayo and Kobe White. If the Bulls could somehow bring back Williams, and I understand, he has not, lived up to that 4th overall pick, and I think a lot of us expect him to be an all-star in this league when we took him out of Florida State, but maybe we need to reset our expectations on him and just look at him as a 3-and-D wing who is young and up and coming. Because I'll tell you what, if I was another team and I saw Patrick Williams on the market, seeing what he shot from 3 this past season and seeing what he has done defensively throughout his NBA career, I would be all in on bringing him to my team. So I would, if I were the Bulls, do whatever you can to bring back Patrick Williams and have that be your cornerstones. Williams, Kobe White, and Ayo. And I know a lot of people will say, well, the Bulls are going to be terrible next season. If you have those three running the ship, yeah, no doubt about it. They're probably not going to make the playoffs with those three. But if you let them just get those reps, get that continuity, and develop that chemistry, it will pay out in the long run. And it gets me to this. I think the Bulls, we talk about chemistry so much with this team. Continuity was a hot word this offseason. But I think the Bulls have the chance to also build chemistry and build a team style of play or team style of roster with those three guys. And, if I were them, I would just kind of be all in on Kobe, Ayo, Patrick Williams, say, we trust in you guys. We're going to build around you three, and you guys lead the ship on this kind of rebuild and retool. And I think it'd end up paying off huge dividends for the Bulls down the line, because you look at the Timberwolves, they've been a team for the last couple of seasons. The Nuggets, it's not like we're in this stage where it's you go nab stars in free agency, you just kind of throw them together and it ends up working. We're not in that stage of the NBA anymore. We are in the style of team basketball. And I think with those three, how well they play next to each other and just their overall styles, how they fit, that's what I would do. I would do whatever it takes, bring back P-Dub. But let's finish out today's show talking about Andre Drummond. I'll make this quick here, 100%. So he is supposed to be a restricted free agent this summer, but no doubt I'll bring back Andre Drummond. I thought he should have been playing over Vooch for the second half of the season. I think we saw it was obvious that this team is better when he is in the lineup in comparison to Vooch. I just I say this all the time. I talk about the style. I talk about the archetype of player, and I think that really does matter. Because, yes, in a vacuum, Nikola Vucevic is a better player than Andre Drummond. But I think in terms of what the NBA is starting to value more at that center position, I don't necessarily think it's Vooch. I think if you want to be an offensive-minded center, you have to be top of the notch. You have to be Nikola Jokic type of player if you want to be effective. Because we saw, even the games this past year, where Vooch would have 20 and 20, he would be such a net negative on defense that he almost became unplayable. I think, and then if he is bad on offense, he is one of the worst players in the NBA in terms of impact on winning a basketball game. At least that you get from Drummond, yes, he can have games where that push shot's just not falling. He's just not getting it to go. But, what he brings on the glass, I thought he's tremendously improved on the defensive side of the floor. His ability to switch out on the guards, I think, is really improved. His ability to switch, protect the rim in drop coverage, I think, is improved as well. So I would bring back Andre Drummond. I think be a great big, be a rotational big. You can start him some games, have him come off the bench some games, but that's what I would do. And it kind of just gets me to this, guys. With whatever the Bulls do this offseason, I just hope it's something new. I am, and I think apathy could start to set in for fans, which is like, man, I don't care anymore. And I don't want that for Bulls fans, because you see that with what the Bears did. They were bad for a couple years, got Caleb Williams, and now they're ready to go, and everybody's bought in. Look at the Blackhawks. Even another year this year, they were terrible. But you got Bedard. Now I think they got the second pick in the draft. Like, they are going to be able to reset that roster very fast. And, Bulls fans, I know we want the Bulls to be so good right away. And we want to just flip that switch, and it's like, oh, we're back at the top of the Eastern Conference. It's going to take years. And, that's why, even though DeMar DeRozan's been great for this team, I would let him walk and I would rather have them bring in a guy like Patrick Williams who could develop into something one day instead of just kind of bringing back DeMar and putting a Band-Aid on an open wound. But, hey, let me know your thoughts down in the comments, what you guys would do with DeMar, Patrick Williams, and Andre Drummond. I would let DeMar go and bring back P-Dub and Drummond, and I think personally those would be the best moves moving forward for the Bulls. But you guys let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for watching today's show. If you guys made it all the way to the end, clearly we're doing something right here. So I would appreciate if you guys hit that subscribe button and lock this in as your go-to Bulls YouTube channel. But see you guys next time. As always, go Bulls.